Okay, hello Sunil. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Vyasa. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
How
Uh,
is work from
Work,
home coming along?
lots of conference calls. Sometimes you can actually get busier, and I'm,
Yep,
I'm losing track of the days actually.
true.
Okay, so Sunil, thank you very much for being here. Soon we'll get the live links, and then we will actually send it to you. Um, Let me just introduce you a little bit, right? And what's the whole event about? Let me see. Okay, as everyone knows, the frontliners are facing extreme amounts of pressure. Okay, they are actually not only pressure on the work front, and they also have pressure in terms of the equipment. They don't have enough equipment, enough masks and all protective gears. Okay, and there's also another aspect that a lot of people don't really talk about. Okay, what the is which is actually dealing with mental wellness for them, and they actually feel a lot of stress while doing the work. Um, and it brings about a huge emotional toil, which many don't realize. All right. So today, before we go on to the topic, I will introduce Sunil, who's here, president of MAPTaC. I will also like to say hello to everybody here. Sunil, just say hello to everyone here.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the session.
Okay. And just send out a like, your heart to give encouragement to the speaker here today. Okay, he has got lots to share, lots to it's a big effort, but with a big team on to support the frontliners, right? Okay, Sunil, the live links are here already. Can you see
Mhm.
the live links, Facebook and
Yes.
LinkedIn? Can you
Yep.
see it on the right? Okay,
Yep.
so you can go ahead and paste it on your wall. I will introduce you further, right? Okay, so as everyone knows, the frontliners are facing extreme amounts of pressure, stress, and exhaustion from their work. It brings about huge emotional toil, which actually they don't realize. So Sunil, president of MAPTaC, which is the Malaysian Professional Trainers and Coaches Association, he shares today about the emotional support line to support frontliners. They call it the C-19 Heroes Support Helpline. Okay, and how they actually got together a team of professional coaches to come together to get this going. All right. So again, if you have any questions or words of encouragement, or if you want to actually get in touch with Sunil during the talk, you can always send your questions and comments to the comment section below, right? Uh, you can also start letting out the questions early on so that we can get Sunil to help answer the questions. All right. So let me just share the title today. Okay, Sunil, over to you. Perhaps you can share a little bit about this whole big effort.
Right. Thank you very much, Vyasa. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, I think this COVID-19 has really hit Malaysia in a very different way, and it has actually triggered a lot of people to look at life differently. Having said that, one of those things that is really concerning is because the frontliners, our doctors, our medical personnel, the police, the army, they are really working day and night to ensure we are safe. Your family is safe, your parents are safe, your relatives are safe, members of your community is safe. And this idea of creating the Hero Support Helpline came about 7-8 days ago, because many of my close friends are doctors, nurses, including my own sister. She's a specialist in a government hospital who is one of the team leads for this COVID. So coming home and having conversations of stress and how emotional situations are, how my friends used to call me, that sort of got me thinking, what can we do to help them? money is one thing, and government has been very generous to reach out and support as much as possible. But what is it that we can do as individuals? First things first, we can do is stay home, stay away from risk, minimize, contact, and that's something that we could do. Then the question comes, we have got close to 3,000 trainers and coaches within our community whom we are closely affiliated with, friends of. What can these people now do to contribute just a little drop in the ocean to manage the situation that is really bothering the country? And that's where we connected with about 20 coaches, and they were all so kind and generous to say, yes, we are willing to step up. And I'd like to place on record a very special mention of this person who, before everybody else could say okay, said, yes, we will start it off. And that's none other than my dear sister, God sister, you call her. Her name is Jaya Perumal. Jaya Perumal is the treasurer of the Malaysian Association of Professional Trainers and Coaches. And yes, at the very moment I mentioned that this is something that we should do, before getting the helpline, before getting the toll-free number, nothing. We just published our 2 mobile numbers, and we had about 700 phone calls in the last 1 week alone. And
700 phone calls.
Yes, 700 calls in the last 1 week alone, comprising of people from the corporate. There are some people from the medical side. We had a call from a doctor in Kuantan whose wife, is about to deliver in the Miri Hospital, premature baby, I suppose.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And he's not able to go. And on the other side, both husband and wife are actually on the ground helping patients, So you get this kind of calls coming in on a, literally every 15-20 minutes basis. And it's very heartwarming to see that just being a friend, being a listening ear, just asking 1 or 2 questions that helps them vent out their frustration, leaving them happier, leaving them with more clarity. And that is the whole purpose of why we created the support line. So as we speak now, we have got, we're very fortunate and blessed. Some corporates have come forward, and I would like to place on record my special thanks to Red Tone. So Red Tone International Berhad is the sponsor for the line, which now connects to coaches, and they've been so kind to say that in the event we need more support, that means more numbers or more calls volume is coming in, we can go up to even 60 to 80, meaning we can have 60 to 80 people at one time having support from the coaches. So
Wow.
we are really happy to get this kind of support from the corporate leaders coming forward to see what else can we do to co-create positivity, to co-create support, and to co-create possibilities to help the community in need.
Okay. So 700 calls again. Wow, the number is really huge. So what do they actually call in? When the frontliners call in, why do they call? And what kind of support is given?
So I think mainly their calls is to vent out their frustration.
Okay.
They are calling to share how disturbed they are with one of the biggest things, at least probably 50% of the 700 mentioned in within the 15-20 minutes of a conversation was always along the lines of, why can Malaysians actually put in that little bit of effort of staying home when we are sacrificing our lives, our family's life, just to protect the people of this nation? So when you keep hearing words like that, it really makes you feel that, it is really important to play that little role. And the little role is not asking much. The little role is stay home in the comforts of your home and please don't go out. So that is why this initiative then led on to another one where we have got Mallory, Felix, JP, Weiling, and a whole group of, content people right at the back end, creating content to either appreciate the frontliners, to create awareness for the community, and number 3, to create positivity so that the energy in the country sort of changes to become more positive, because if you see on social media, there is
Right.
more and more negative comments and negative stuff being shared. So what
Right.
we're trying to do is to pump in more and more positive content so that the environment, the energy around becomes
Right.
more positive, more
Okay.
supportive. And with that, we hope sincerely that we will be able to battle this war of COVID-19, a global pandemic, together. Because I believe as Malaysians, if we were to
Okay.
put in our best effort as a community, as a national family, we definitely can combat this. It's not difficult. We just need to put in that effort.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Okay. So, Sunil,
Yep.
just checking, right? The line seems to be not too good on the Wi-Fi front. You can
Okay.
actually just check if there's any options there. Okay. Meanwhile, we will just say hello to our audience here today, which is like one of them is Asohan. Okay. Hello, Asohan. And then hi Esther. Wesley is
Hey,
here.
hey,
Joshua is
brother.
here. Yeah. Okay, Sunil, you can take the chance to say hello to them also.
Hey, Wesley. You had a good session with Vyasa. I got a chance to see it later in the day. Awesome. Well done, brother.
Okay, cool, cool. And then okay, Asuhan says hi again. Okay, Sunil, what kind of support? If you feel free to shout out the names of your people in your team, right? We want to give them a big kudos, big high five from all of us here, right? If you have the names, please feel free to give them a shout out to all your team members in this. And also, what kind of support do you all need from everyone? What can they provide to help you in this cause?
Right. So first things first, yeah, I would love to put on record my appreciation to a group of people who have been very, very supportive. But before
Okay.
I get that, let me respond to your second question, which
Yep.
is what sort of support is needed now. So, my
Yeah.
dear friends, I think
Yeah.
we will really appreciate if you
Right.
can, put in that effort to just click the share button
Okay.
on your Facebook whenever you see postings from myself, the executive committee of MAPTaC, and also the volunteers and all the trainers that will be sharing images, videos, and messages on positivity. Like I said, all messages that I shared are only in these three areas. Number one, awareness, to raise the awareness among Malaysians. Number two, appreciation for the frontliners who are battling with their lives every minute to make sure that we are safe. And number three is to induce positivity, right? So whatever messages you see, please do help to share it. Share number two, the poster with the helpline phone number, which is 0323302222. I repeat, 0323302222 to as many people as possible, so that in the event they are looking for that support, especially the frontliners. And I am dedicating this group of experts to focus mainly on the frontliners. After this initiative was launched, a couple of organizations and friends have stepped up and asked, Sunil, is there a way you could also extend this particular support to the other communities, especially the small, medium enterprise owners, the SME group, to also the business owners, and to the more corporate side of the country. And it is again, without the support of the corporates and friends, we will never be able to achieve it. By Friday we will be launching the SME support, the business owner support, which will comprise of professional coaches stepping up to now conduct free coaching and free assistance and support conversations to the business owners and SME and CEOs and all that. So we are working with Redstone again, and thank you so much, to the CEO and the entire Redstone team for volunteering to create another channel for the SMEs to communicate and now gain support. So with this, I mean, the most important point is the Malaysian Association of Professional Trainers and Coaches is here to support the nation. We are here because we care. we are here because we sincerely believe that only with the support of one another and putting all our strengths together, we will be able to battle this war and win like champions.
Okay, super. Uh, do you have anything that if there are corporate members from the corporate side watching,
Mhm.
what can the corporate sector, how can they help you?
Corporate sectors, there is a lot of things that's possible. We could, sort of help to facilitate, because of the work that we are doing, we tend to get a lot of requests from hospital, clinic kesehatans for resources, materials, and all that. And we do not
Okay.
want to go into the space of, collecting the public's money and then buying and channeling and all that. But what we are
Right.
doing is we are doing matching of supply and demand, right? So,
Okay.
say a hospital A is in need of the hazmat suit, and we
Okay.
know a corporate who is willing to sponsor the hazmat suit, then we
Right.
will tell the corporate, can you please go and talk to the hospital? And the hospital will say, okay, corporate, thank you so much for your help. And then they get the work done. So we are here to facilitate and support
Okay.
that way as well. The other thing that I think the corporates could do is reach out to our trainers and coaches. If you need someone to do an online session to support your people, I know that the morale of people is really low. Working from home is good while it can be challenging for some. So if you need, the trainers, you need speakers, you need coaches to help your organization, have conversations through online, at least I suppose for the next 2-3 months, and reach out to your members in the organization to uplift them, to inspire them, to connect with them, then we are here to support you as well. And on that front, we will be soon initiating a few Zoom online trainings for free. So do connect with me, and I'll be happy to share with you the free trainings that the association is working towards in creating to uplift the human capital in corporate organizations today.
Awesome. Okay. So corporates can actually reach you to coordinate with you, right? So
Yes,
are you, as part of the work that you all are doing, you're also helping to coordinate the relief efforts for hospitals. Am I right?
correct. Yeah. So
So that
that one
means
is only coordination, meaning we just see where the demand is. If we can find a
okay,
supply, we just connect the dots. We are not getting involved in the collection of funds and all that stuff.
understand,
Yeah.
understand. So the
Yeah.
corporates deal directly with the people
Yes.
in the
Yes.
hospital, right? Is there still a lot of things needed by the hospital?
So
Different various hospitals around
yeah.
right now?
So as of yesterday, I noticed that most hospitals, especially the key COVID centers, right,
Right,
have
right.
already started receiving the supplies and all that. And I think
Okay,
we must really applaud the support of our corporates, like for example, Petronas, the company that
okay,
I am who I am today because of my 10 years of work in Petronas. And Petronas
okay.
has come up with some corporate sponsorship. Tenaga
Right,
National has, and many other corporate organizations I'm aware have actually
right,
given funding to the hotels pula,
right. Mm,
to the hospitals to actually buy all this material. So I think
right.
hospitals, from what I hear as of yesterday,
Mm,
is somewhat being taken care of. There are smaller clinics that is still waiting for supply and the support to come in.
okay,
So what MAPTaC is doing is, like I said again, it is just connecting the dots.
okay.
What more we are working on is to support the people who have lost their jobs, the daily
Mm-hmm.
wage earners.
Okay,
So we are working with various individuals, we are working with certain corporate organizations
right.
to fund certain amount of money, which will then be translated into the purchase of household items. All right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we then give it to the family. I'm working very closely with the Satya Sai Baba International Organization of Malaysia,
Okay,
and a lot of our youth leaders there are putting in tremendous amount of effort to identify families and communities in need, and we
okay.
then run to the malls or shops or grocery stores, buy the
Right,
necessary things like very basic essentials, food
right,
items like oil,
right,
rice,
right.
basic food needs, and actually personally hand deliver. So that's the other thing that we're doing. So we are
Oh,
very fortunate that some trainers, despite having no training jobs, are
yeah.
kind-hearted to step out and says, never mind, from the little bit of savings I have, I'm willing to contribute. So I think
Okay.
it's a very beautiful experience amidst all the difficulties, right? To see more and more people coming together,
Right.
holding hands and saying, let's do something to help. Because there are
Right.
so many people who are not able to make ends meet. There are so many
Right.
people who don't have, enough
Yes.
to even put food on their table. So
Okay.
we are currently reaching out. The other one more thing that, through the Satyasai International Organization we are doing is also to provide support to about 200 people by serving home cooked food. So we have got an uncle and an auntie in Desa Mentari, right? They are actually cooking together with volunteers food for about 200 over people. And
Okay.
these 200 people are getting home cooked food, for lunch. So at least when you have
Okay.
one good meal for lunch, then you can sort of sustain a little bit better for the day. So,
Right.
these are the various things that we are doing, whether in capacities of individuals or, community, but we're all coming together to do the little tiny bit. Like I said, whatever efforts we are putting in is just one tiny drop in the entire ocean. And,
Okay.
we are really humble, right, that we are getting this opportunity to serve. Because to
Right.
me, serving people is a blessing. Serving people and serving and helping others is an opportunity that we are able to get. And we are so blessed to have that in our hands.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yep.
So, Sunil, I think I've got to like chat with you later also on this part where
Mhm.
you're feeling fabulous because me and a few others are also collecting money and funds, and also we are looking out for people who are who are actually needy at this point of time. We realize this is a reality, and we need to support this, right?
Correct.
Kita jaga kita lah, kan?
Correct. Correct.
Okay. So we have some people saying hello and all. Just give me a second, please.
Sure.
Hello from Esther. All right. And also Sumati Krishnan says she likes to convey her deepest gratitude to the front lines, our heroes. And then question from Nur Haniza Romzan from LinkedIn.
Mhm.
May I know which group of frontliners are seeking support the most?
Right. So that's a very good question, Haniza. The biggest group that has been sort of, calling in are actually the nurses, the medical assistants, and doctors.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So this is the group that is the one that we receive most amount of calls so far.
Okay. All
Yep.
right. And
We do
what?
have probably about 10% of people calling in from corporates. I'm not going to mention the name of the corporate companies, but
Okay.
they are calling in because they are in the essential service sector. So they are calling in because they are fearful and they are stressed out because they have to go to work. Right, so they are calling in to say like, Encik Sunil, saya rasa takut lah, kena pergi terpaksa pergi ke kerja, apa kena buat, what should I do, I'm so afraid, so you should just give them a little bit of words of encouragement and assurance that if they take care of their personal hygiene, they sanitize their hand and try to be very careful, then they should be okay. So that sort of support is currently being given.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
Esther also from Facebook says she will surely pass the message out. She really appreciates the effort that is provided here. Okay.
Mhm.
Awesome work, Sunil. And then Roslan Zain
Oh,
says hi, and he says ex Petronas chaps here, Haji Hanafia, Isa, and all. Okay. Just sharing some stuff here. Okay. And also hi from Janita Kulasingam and Lata Krishnamurti. All right. Hello there.
hello, people.
Okay. Sunil, what do you think about like the frontliners, right? What are some of the common questions beside like, being stressed up?
Mhm.
What are the common some of the, support questions that they have actually called in to us?
So, like I mentioned earlier, Vyasa, it's
Mm-hmm.
mainly on the areas of, seeking for support, as in assurance,
Okay.
affirmation that
Okay.
they are doing something right.
Okay.
Like for example, I give you a case of this lady who called. She's already about 65 years old, and I think she's a
Okay.
retiree who was invited back to help out, as a nurse.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And that lady who was an ex-matron calls in to say,
Okay.
she's scared. She
Okay.
says, saya dah menolong, saya
Okay.
dah commit nak membantu. I have already
Right.
committed to helping because of my years of experience in the medical field.
Right.
However,
Right.
I'm scared because I am most high risk because of my age.
Yeah.
I've got a heart problem. I've got what do you call diabetes. So I am afraid that if I were to be contracted, what would happen?
Right.
Right? So to a person like that, I just heard her out, and eventually I just allowed her to continue venting for a while. Then I asked her, I said, Makcik, kenapa makcik sanggup nak membantu? And I
Yeah.
tell you, the words she used, it was so heartwarming. It literally brought tears to my eyes because she said, ini negara kita, this is our country. Our
Yeah.
people are suffering in the hospital. Our doctors
Right.
don't have enough help. We
Right.
must go and help. So based on my experience, and she was talking in Bahasa Malaysia, yeah, but I'm
Right.
translating this in English,
Right. Right.
right?
Right.
But based on my working experience, I must be there to help our people. Having, a lady who is 65 years old, retiree, she could be sitting at home, relaxing and, making some nice food at home and
Yeah.
feeding the family, but she chose to work 12 hours and sacrifice her time and her possibility, her life, putting it at stake to actually do this. So it's, the more and more we get these calls, the more people we talk to, we find that, how selfless and how much of sacrifice people are actually putting in, to make sure they can hold the fort and win the war against COVID-19.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. It's amazing work they're doing. It's just, crazy amazing. But, as we who are outside, we can't really see because everything they're doing is within the four walls of the hospital and all, and everything. There's no journalists, camera people are not allowed inside. It's, a
Correct.
high risk environment. But it's only through, your words from people like y'all who are, in touch with them, we can really know what's really going on at the back.
Correct. Correct. It's very interesting because when this whole thing first started,
Yeah.
with a group of leaders and friends, we started the first service activity by actually providing food to the
Yeah.
frontliners at the Sungai Buloh Hospital.
Okay.
And on 2-3 occasions, I mean, I'm not intending to reveal much, but the 2-3
Yeah.
occasions that I saw people were really, working, even though in such a stressful environment with a smile, treating the patients and all that. I think,
Yeah.
it takes a lot from these frontliners, despite having fear within them, despite having, concerns of their own safety, but putting that aside and putting up a smile to make someone feel more comfortable, and I saw a lot in that probably 10 days of going back and forth to deliver food to the frontliners in the hospital environment. So I think that has all sort of triggered more and more passion in
Right.
wanting to be there present for the
Right.
frontliners at any point of time they need someone to talk to.
Mhm.
We are here for you.
Okay. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Sunil, while we talk, right, could you just
Mhm.
put your laptop just facing in a little bit so that, yes, a little bit more. Yes. Awesome. Because we want to put the number, your contact number there. Yes, it's better. Okay.
Okay.
Just hold on a second. Let me just put in
Sure.
the number. Okay. Your number is here. Okay. So we have Sunil's number is here, right here. So
Mhm.
that, anyone who wants to connect with Sunil, you can always contact this number from the corporates. Or if do you need extra coaches for this work, Sunil?
Right now we are good with the coaches, and even we
Okay,
have got some extra coaches who are available. We
right.
are prioritizing the people with counseling, with
Okay,
PTSD, which is post-traumatic syndrome disorder, I think.
okay.
People who have got experiences in this area, which is
Mm-hmm.
more emotionally intense. Um,
Okay,
and then the other coaches could step forward, so that we can then launch the second phase of this same project to help the business owners and SMEs. So yes, please feel free to reach out to me or any of my executive committee members
right.
from the association, so that
Right.
we can enroll you and support you in becoming a coach to the business leaders and SMEs, as part of our phase 2.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. So as Esther mentioned that, it can be really hard hearing the whole process. Really thanks to all the frontliners for their sacrificing their time and putting all their efforts into the situation. All right.
Mhm.
Honey sends a heart. Okay, you know Honey, right? Honey does
Yep.
this.
Yep.
And then, okay, another question by Esther is this support line 24 hours?
Yeah, so the support line is 24 hours, and we have got 20 coaches on standby to pick up the call. And there is a system put at the back end. So there will be somebody who would answer the call,
Okay.
throughout the whole day. That means 24 hours, you can make the calls in. I've had calls that come in at 4 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. When I initially published the mobile number, so
Right.
Jaya and myself had experience receiving calls at the wee hours, because sometimes these doctors will be working till late, and then as
Yes.
they're driving, they may call, or the medical personnel are giving a call and all that. So it has
Okay.
happened in the last
Okay.
1 week. Yeah.
Okay. So from what you have heard so far, right, with these calls and all, do they actually feel a relief after talking to you all?
Yes, very much. And I think that is the greatest joy for the few of us who have experience handling these calls. And
Okay.
the greatest happiness for us is the fact that they feel relief. They feel that, there was somebody that they could talk to, someone who
Right.
is absolutely unknown to them, someone who is non judgmental, someone who is just there present, listening
Right.
with empathy, providing that moral support, and giving them words of affirmation and assurance that they are on the right track, they are doing something good for the nation, they are doing something right, and with the blessings of Almighty God and divinity, they will be okay. So that has been very helpful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. I think you all are doing superb work. I think we all need to really, clap our hands to the work that you guys are doing. And Sunil, all the coaches, you want to shout out any of the names and all? If you
Yes.
have all
I
of them,
yes.
you
Just
feel
just
free to
give me
support them.
just give me
And
10
everyone
seconds.
here, sure thing. Everyone here, let's give a big, number of hearts and likes to all the coaches who have been spending 24 hours on call in this helpline. All right. Super, super. Diana Chaska says, awesome job. It's a great platform. Um, so Sunil has been talking about the frontline helpline number, which MAPTaC, which is the Malaysian Association of Professional Trainers and Coaches team, right? They have actually, got together, put up a team, and they are actually on call for 24 hours. Any time of the day, they get calls and they are actually on standby to answer. And actually, just to summarize a little bit, they have been helping the frontliners, and the frontliners have actually called in for a lot of support, mental health, and they have actually received a lot of relief. Yeah, any way we can help, we will help. Okay, kita jaga kita lah, kan? Okay, Sunil, are you ready?
Right? Yes, I am. So I
Okay,
would like to shout out to some of our colleagues and friends. Let's start with Pauline Chan,
okay,
Kavita, Ahmad Zaidi or Tuan Haji Ahmad Zaidi,
okay,
Ernest, Nadine, Shubha, Jaya Perumal, who has been there from day one, picking up the first phone call right up to now, David, Amuda, Ranjit, JP, Dr. Lavanya. She's a doctor herself and she's stepping up to help. Can you imagine?
awesome, awesome,
Okay.
yeah,
Sister Mac and also Andy. And this is the people who are the frontliners to respond to your calls right now. And we have a few more coaches on standby in case if the volume increases, we will be able to get the rest of the coaches on board. And I would like to also place on record, like I did just now, to the content team who is putting in tremendous amount of hours under the leadership of Mallory and JP, Felix, Weiling, and a few others to come up with content to appreciate, create awareness, or inspire positivity in social media. So if I could humbly request the support of fellow Malaysians and people, whoever is watching this, I think three things that we hope that you could do. Number one, please stay home and be safe. Number two, on your own capacity, send positive notes on your social media. Share only positivity in your social media and also to all your various platforms of communication. And constantly, if you can, make it a commitment, make it a point to post at least one appreciative note to all the frontliners every morning. Gratitude goes a very far. And I would really appreciate if all of us can send one positive gratitude note to these people who are doing everything they can to keep you and me safe.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Okay, so just a little bit of background about Sunil, who's here, the leader of MAPTaC right now. Let me just read out a little bit about him. I missed that just now. He is actually an international keynote speaker since he was 17 when he spoke at the in front of the United Nations. And then after that, he has been actually traveling to more than 50 countries in the last 18 years, addressing more than 100,000 people. He's a professional coach and specializes in solution focused coaching and appreciative inquiry. All right. He's also the chief strategist of HC Consultants Group, specializing in the areas of change management, learning and development, leadership and culture. He believes in helping organizations build strengths driven, solution focused leaders. All right. He's also the founder of Asian Corporate Happiness Culture Community. All right. You want to just share a little bit about what is the happiness culture community, Sunil?
Well, yeah, Ken Vyasa. So basically, what happened is sometime last year, we hosted a professional, a psychiatrist from Finland. Okay,
Okay.
his name is Dr. Ben Furman. He's a psychiatrist and a psychologist who came down to Malaysia and shared with close to 80 over corporate leaders about how to leverage on the solution focused approach to drive corporate happiness as a tool. And at the end of the one day workshop, everybody gave, Dr. Ben a standing ovation and everyone was very appreciative. I got so many appreciative notes and thank you notes that came up. And towards the end, I asked the corporate leaders, mainly the HR directors and all that, I said, are we going to just stand here and clap our hands, being very happy and being appreciative of the one day that Dr. Ben has flown in all the way from Helsinki to share with us? And they somewhat clearly on the face showed, no, we shouldn't. And I said that, there can be no greater possibility than creating and curating a community of passionate, loving leaders coming together to form a community which will aspire and drive the corporate happiness culture in Malaysia. And this was mainly because the number of social issues rising in the country, the social difficulties which then led into trouble in organizations were being obvious. We noticed that employee engagement started to become a concern. And then we realized that, there is more and more depression happening. There is more and more suicide happening. There is more and more, it was like as if the whole world is going chaotic, right? And the statistics, which again, I hope I'm wrong, but I know I read it right. 1 in 3 Malaysian is going through a depression, right? Really is fearful, which basically means in every 3 people, 1 person is actually going through some form of stress or depression. That's not healthy, because people, when they are most engaged, are going to drive higher employee job performance, which in turn will give you higher performance, higher productivity, higher profits. And that was not happening. So we then came together and then we created this community called the ASEAN Corporate Happiness Culture Community. It all started in Malaysia. The intentions was only for Malaysian leaders initially. But as I then traveled to countries like Thailand, South Africa, Indonesia, Brunei, Singapore, and I kept sharing and talking about it, more and more people, said like, hey, we want to be part of it. We want to be part of it. And then we rebranded sometime end of last year and said, we will form an ASEAN Corporate Happiness Culture Community. So, yeah, probably a shout out, to all my HR friends especially friends from the HR leader circle, who are very supportive of all these kind of community programs to drive greater employee engagement, to drive greater employees' job performance. And let's do something sincerely together to create a happier work environment, because the more and more time we are spending at work, and if at workplace we can create happiness, we are happy at work, not only that the organization sees the benefit, you will also find that people go home happier and families will live a happier, creating a happier community, a happier country. And that's what we need. Because at the end of the day, I keep telling people this very important point. We have come to this world with nothing. And when we die, we take absolutely nothing with us except the good deeds and memories that will go with us. So that was the inspiration behind why we started and how we started the ASEAN Corporate Happiness Culture Communities. Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so one last question by our viewers from Diana Chaska from Facebook. Can we help to promote this to others in need?
Please, 100%, that is our humble appeal and our request. Share this with as many people as possible, and we will be very delighted to help as many people as we can. We cannot promise to change people's life, but we can promise to inspire. We can promise that we will be there, and we can promise to do our best to make people feel better in these challenging times that we are all in together.
Okay, so with that, I think let's end this show. Again, your number. This is. Let me also put in your number again. If just in case corporates want to get in touch with you, this is Sunil's number 012-958-5357, and the Frontlines number, help number is 0323302222. All right. So again, thank you, Sunil. Thank you very much.
Very much.
Thank you for your whole team, your coaches team. Thank you very much again for supporting our frontliners, our real heroes out there, everybody. So again, for people who are watching this, you can share this with frontliners. Could be doctors, could be nurses, and all the people who are supporting frontliners who have to be there. Let's help to share this message to them. All right. Thank you again, Sunil.
Thank you very much.
Again, I'll see you again another time. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Be safe and take care of yourselves.
All right, Sunil, just hold on the line after this. Just hold on the line. We'll have a chat